Can Russia become normal again? When I was thinking for the name of this live stream, I kept coming up with, can Russia become normal again? But something didn't sound right. Normal again. As if Russia was normal and then changed. And I dropped the word again, and the name made the perfect sense. So, can Russia become a normal country? Howdy, everyone. My name is Konstantin. Welcome to Inside Russia, where living in today's Russia is explained by a Russian. The usual Russia is explained by the unusual Russian. No propaganda, BS, or lies here. Only truth, common sense, and logic, as usual. And some emotions, because I am a human being, after all. A little bit of history, a little bit of future, a little bit of my opinion. But first things first. Why is this so important? Can you isolate Russia and forget about it? Erase Russia from the world? Impossible. Yes, the world can isolate Russia, and it's being done right now. And Russian government is actually helping. It's isolating Russia from the world, from the inside. So now the country is being double isolated. But you just can't get rid of Russia altogether. You can't forget about it. It's 1/6 of the world's land. It'd be really hard to erase it from the world completely in a way that North Korea has been erased. We know it's there, but it's kind of like not there, North Korea. With Russia, that's not going to fly. It's too big, too built in, too big to fail, so to speak. So whether everyone likes it or not, Russia is going to be there. And the big question is, what kind of Russia is going to be there? And I'll try to share my opinion about that. Now, the harsh reality is that Russia has become ugly. It's anything but normal. It has many names now: totalitarian state, dictatorship, aggressor, warmonger, so many names. I call it mad circus. Only now, recently, it has become evil mad circus, where bad, evil things happen. I will not go into the details of what Russia looks like now. I've discussed it many times in live streams, in the videos. I think we'll understand the current state of affairs in Russia. It's going to be, right now it's unclear whether it's going to be the mad circus that you'll be living with in the future, or Russia has a chance to become a normal country and be welcomed into a peaceful family of normal countries, of normal people, where it's for people, by people, where people are free and the values are strong. Which way Russia will go? Well, which way the world will have Russia? What Russia will it have? Russia's problem is that it never became normal, and I understood that recently. Back in 1991, when I was still a teenager, when the USSR fell apart, I thought it did. I thought that Russia did become normal. Millions of us Russians thought that we did become normal. And most likely, you watching me right now, you thought that Russia became normal. And Russia showed signs of becoming normal. And you believed, most likely, you believed and you were sincerely happy that Russia ceased to be the bad guy of the world. And you opened the world for us and welcomed us with your arms wide open. And by the way, please let me know in the comments if how you felt when the USSR fell apart, and were you happy that Russia became free, and did you feel enthusiastic and joyous about that? Let me know how you felt about our future, world's future, back in 1991 when new Russia was born. Let me know down below in the comments, please. I'd love to hear your opinion. Even now, Even in 2024, I still believe that Russia was on the right path. It was transforming. It took the country a decade or so to start seeing the little results of the transformation. After a decade or so, Russia started seeing the light. We started seeing the light in Russia. But it lacked one hugely important piece: time. As it turned out, time is absolutely crucial element. Moses took the Jews out of Israel, and instead of taking them straight to the Holy Land, he held them in the desert and the mountains of Sinai for 40 years. But Russians, unfortunately, didn't go through their own 40 years. Evil old men who were born in the USSR and raised by the philosophy of totalitarianism, they hijacked Russia. They halted its progress, and they reversed it, making it another USSR, only much worse this time, and we're seeing it right now. So Russia never made it to normal, although there was a chance. And now we understand what country has become. We're seeing where Russia is at now. So is there a chance for Russia to somehow reverse its course that it's on right now and to change and to become normal, finally to become a normal country, a respected, honest member of the world's family? Is this possible? And that's the question I've been asking. There are two paths in my mind. I call them the light and the darkness. The light is when Russia will have a revival, when it'll become normal, with democracy, with presidents and governments changing so often, and people making such changes, with free and fair court system, with freedoms of speech and assembly, with understanding that we are the people and that Russia is our homeland and it is for us, not for the government, not for the strong men. And it is possible. There are precedents. It's been done before. The recent and most recent vivid precedent is Germany. It rose from ashes, from own darkness to the light. Yes, it was a very long and painful journey, and yes, others were helping Germany out. But the Germans managed to do it. So it is possible for any country, and the Germany is the beacon of light. Some say there are problems in Germany now, but hey, you know what? I don't want to hear that. I know that Germany has gone in an incredible, magnificent way from 1945 to 2024. So again, it's possible. The second path is darkness, and that path can be taken by Russia too. It is possible. Basically, if Germans could do that, Russians can do that too. The second path is the darkness. And looking at Russia now, we are seeing that what the darkness looks like. Opposite to normal. A place of strong men, their servants, and modern day slaves. Russia has been fallen into darkness for the past 2 years. And, for the first time, I actually had hopes that Russia that process of becoming darkness would stop and it would be reversed. At first, I thought that the war would not last long. What Russian people would not allow that to last long. And in the first days, there was a wave of human anger. I still remember that first week or so. And the government did not expect that. The government was silent and people were just speaking up. They were using social media platforms, different platforms, even newspapers, TV, YouTube, you name it. And no one was afraid. People were just absolutely irate. They were so angry. So then we all had hopes that, different groups inside Russia would change things. For example, the oligarchs would revolt, that the army would act, that the power groups inside Russian government would start eating each other out, that the Siloviki would, rise and change things. That has not happened, unfortunately. Instead, the entire country started changing. Everyone, including regular folks, including those who were not benefiting, are not benefiting from what's going on in Russia. They're not benefiting from war. Their lives are becoming much worse. Their kids' futures getting destroyed. And they're still changing. They started supporting the change into the darkness, and for different reasons. I've been trying to understand regular Russian people. Some have been changing because they're naive and easily trust the government. Some brainwashed, some drink too much, some aren't that smart, some are envious. Different reasons. So the biggest change that Russia has gone through is its people. The biggest transformation is inside Russia, inside Russian people, deep inside, in their hearts, in their heads. And I believe that this change, this transformation is steering Russia towards the path of darkness. The most significant transformation, the transformation inside. I'm not saying that life in Russia will become more comfortable and better. No. People's lives will increasingly become worse. Russian economy will decline even more than I have thought it will, most likely. The living standard of regular folks over time will most likely become even lower than it was in the USSR, and was nothing pretty back then. That will not be enough for a revolution. Russia is a unique country, and if you look at it from afar somewhere, it's really hard to understand sometimes. Russia is the country where the TV wins over the fridge. The new system called the vertical of power not only is born in 2024, no, it was born much earlier, but it is perfected now. And the system, this vertical of power, it might even transform itself. It, for example, might even break into pieces, forcing Russia breaking into pieces along with it. But the system will largely remain existing inside broken pieces. That's answering the question, will Russia stay the same or it's going to break into different pieces? No one can tell now, but either way, it will not change much. My verdict is that Russia will remain being what it is right now. And it's going to be getting worse. Can drastic changes come? Can something like what happened in the USSR happen again in Russia? Of course, the changes can happen. Overnight changes can happen. Our world, our life is much deeper and much more colorful than we understand of it. It is possible. But in my opinion, it is not probable. Russia will still be there. It still will be the evil mad circus. But the question is how you will be living with it. You will have to learn to coexist with Russia. You have actually already earned this. It's a necessity. You've earned this understanding. You have learned things. And you are taking first steps coexisting with the evil mad circus. But you watch out, because Russia will keep on trying to take your world down. It'll keep on biting little pieces out of you, because who is in charge in Russia right now? There's people. They're unhealthy people. They were born and raised in the USSR. They're totalitarianism in their blood. They are envious. They are not good. They are the new Russian world. Instead of supporting everyone to live in harmony and in peace, they want to disrupt and destroy. The evil mad circus is here to stay. Russia will not become normal in near future. Only it's going to be getting worse. So you good folks, you be aware and be ready. And that's me, a Russian, telling you right now. It's been my message. Thank you so very much. I would like to invite everyone to continue into live stream chat, and I would like to welcome everyone and answer your questions. Thank you. The live stream chat is on. I would like to thank the moderation team, Lorna, Mami K, Bob S, Harry Potter, Amir Fazat, and Dirk. Thank you, friends, for coming and watching my back. You are an integral part of Inside Russia. You made this community what it is. Thank you very much. And the usual suspects, everyone who comes here often, thank you. Just give me a second here. There you go. Thank you. If you want me to see your message faster, easier, please put it in all caps and put Inside Russia after that sign so I see it highlighted in orange. Thank you so much. So, hello Dirk, Lorna, Mami, Bob, Amir, and Harry. Amir and Harry not here, but they are with us in our hearts and our minds. Leitmotif for me, thank you so much for coming. Greetings to love, sending love to Bowie, Maryland. Terry, Airborne Snail, KG1, Alvia Flex, Kevin, Pamela, Florian, Ree, Jodes Rames, Possum, Paula W, How Marinos, Kyle E, Leitmotif for me, Yuri Chen, howdy, Live, good to see you, Mr. Kaliskin, Baker Stalk, Angela McNaw, Sam the Legend, K, Magnus, Suzanne Samuelson, Lilith, Leslie, Jimmy, Nige, Keith, Jodes Rames, Heidi Hi, Veronica, Mr. Twigs, Mr. Beast. No Mr. Beast here today. Faith Russard, Kim M, and everyone, welcome. Thank you for coming. Magnus, Leslie. Anyway, to the questions and to everything that is written in caps. Awesome, howdy, howdy. Today we have a birthday. Ree, I would like to sing the birthday song, and I warn everyone in advance, so please cover up your ears. Otherwise they might be damaged, slightly damaged or damaged much. So, are you ready? I'm not. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dearie. Happy birthday to you. Wishing you many happy returns of the day, good health, lots of smiles, lots of reasons to smile, many loved ones surrounding you, having a good time with them, and with many coins in your pocket. Happy birthday. Thank you for being part of Inside Russia. Ron Klotzer, howdy. This room was so full of love, the way the world should be. Thank you, Ron. Thank you for becoming a good member of Inside Russia, our community, and thank you for wonderful words. Monetary support is very important, but words are really priceless. That's when I read something like this, it just makes me leviate above the ground. Thank you. Mr. Tweaks, your life story in the US was so moving. You have no idea. Well, I'm glad you liked it. It was interesting living it, let me tell you. Now I look back and it's hard to believe that actually happened to me. Um, Life is like starting your own business. I don't know if you ever started business and you grew business, but at least in Russia, that's how business works. You have an idea and you have a partner or partners, and you get together and you're like, wow, this is great, let's do it. And you form a company and then you create a product and you start selling it. And you just take step at a time, step by step by step. And in Russia, doing business is very difficult. It's not like in other countries because every single day something hits you. New taxes, the government is going after you, competition, unfair competition, people doing something to you, and things like that. So, and then the problems arise every single day, and you solve every problem, and then you're doing it every day. Do it every day, and then you don't notice what you do until like 1 year later or 2 years later. You kind of like stop and look back and you see the journey that you accomplished in 2 years and you go, wow, if I knew that I would go through that stuff, I probably wouldn't start the business. I had this thought a couple times. But anyway, this is the same way with life. I'm looking back and I'm going, no way I did this, but it's like, how? It took me many, many days. You wake up and it's new day and then you just do things. Thank you so much for support, Keith. Inside Russia, my constant Sing CD set is nearly ready for Amazon. Yeah, that's funny. Thank you, Keith. Florian, asking about oligarchs. What do you think that those who are not having assets in military areas seemingly not resisting despite having money? Florian, your question is, let me think for a second. It's very interesting. KG1, are there any normal politicians left in Russia to achieve this? Friend, there are no politicians left in Russia. Normal, abnormal, none. Who are left in Russia right now? There's people. There are 4 major political parties in the Russian parliament. Political opposition, as they call themselves. And each party nominated a person to run for the president. And all of them, in the mid-race, were saying, we would really like Vladimir Putin to win. And then right before the elections, they got together, and Putin got them all together and said, and they were saying, Vladimir Vladimirovich, we are so happy that you will be the president. Do you call these people politicians? I don't. They're part of the system. They're part of the clique. There are no politicians left in Russia to achieve changes. Outside Russia, there's a political opposition. I'm watching those folks. They fight a lot. They're all usual suspects. There are no new faces there, okay? Some former oligarchs, some former politicians. I do not see them taking Russia back. Change must come from inside Russia, from either from people or from from the from the very top. I was hoping, or I'm still hoping, that the change will come from the top, but it hasn't. I see signs that there is a fighting among different power groups in Russia. And I've said about that. Everything I've said before, I still stand by that, okay? But I'm seeing that that fighting is not enough to take Putin down, to majorly change the system, at least for now. Right now, it's not that strong. And it's not coming. The change is not coming. The change is not coming. And there was a question about Russian oligarchs. Hang on. From Florian, again, asking about oligarchs. What do you why do you think that those who are not having assets in the military area are seemingly not resisting despite having money? A new report just came out. I take all reports coming out from Russian, from Russia, with a huge grain of salt. But I think it was from Forbes. Don't quote me on that. But then, I think that it's close to the truth. Russian oligarchs, Russia's richest people, they have become richer. It means one thing: they are all benefiting in one way or another. They have found their way to be built into this war economy, into this system, even though a lot of them do not have assets in the military area, in the military-industrial complex. They have managed to remain in the system and to make themselves even richer. They are using this situation. They're profiting in one way or another. Many have lost a lot of assets outside Russia. Many famous oligarchs, many are not allowed to travel outside, not allowed to have properties outside Russia. They're under personal sanctions. But look what happened to the two biggest oligarchs right now. The owners of Alpha Bank, Mikhail Friedman and Peter Avin. They're the ones who are actually close friends of Vladimir Putin. They're the ones who helped to place Putin in the president's chair in 1999 in the first place, okay? They are the integral part of building the system that Russia has built, that the Russian government, that Putin has built, the vertical of power. They are it. And they were just cleared by the European Court of sanctions. So perhaps other oligarchs are thinking, hey, we can sit on both chairs. We will still be oligarchs. We will not risk our life. Instead, we submit to Putin we bow even lower, and, we'll become even richer. And somehow in the West, we'll deal with the sanctions in time, we'll get our stuff back. Or even if we lose our assets, yachts, mansions, it's a big deal, We'll make a few billion more dollars here in Russia, and then we'll buy new stuff when we're allowed. Just like Friedman and just like Avin, That was a good example. It happened last week, and I'm going to mention them tomorrow in the Russian Friday news update. This is incredible. So I think that's what oligarchs are thinking. That's why they not resisting. Not only they're not resisting, they're helping. Profiteers. Sam K. Putin, Russia, and normal in the same sentence. LOL. Well, I think you understood what I meant. Adnan, Konstantin, why you and your diaspora don't set up a party and organize? The change in future is up to you, the diaspora. Like I said, the diaspora is organizing right now, and this is a global diaspora. They just had a meeting in Germany not too long ago, in February. Everyone who is who was there. And as for little diasporas, this Tashkent Breakfast Club, not on Tashkent Breakfast Club is a small community of 1,000 plus people. That's it. But Tashkent diaspora, other countries diasporas. Well, let me tell you something. I've been traveling, and I've been setting up trying to set up Tashkent breakfast clubs in other countries. And some things we're just not talking in public about, and some things we will not talk because, hey, it's not what you talk, it's what you do, right? So this is the best way I can answer your question. I won't even go any further into explanation, Sorry. Crusader Damien, howdy friend from Canada. Back with a bang. Or another question, another statement. I heard a Russian official on one of the propaganda shows saying that Russians may look European but do not share the same values. Unfortunately, he might be right. No, he's not. You know what the problem is? Russia do have European values. It has European DNA. This is my opinion. I've talked to many experts. There are experts here in Tashkent and the Tashkent Breakfast Club. We actually had a few lectures. We had speakers, one philosopher, historian. Last Sunday we discussed this topic with one of our top experts in public polling in Russia. And this Sunday we will be discussing it with fellow Russian member of Russian Tashkent Breakfast Club, but now she is in England. She's been living in England for quite some time, and she is a fellow scientist, researcher at one of the top universities, and then she moved here to do some research, and she's going to be lecturing us. We're going to be discussing that. So you see, there is universal opinion that Russians and Russia is closer to Europe than to Asia. But what they're doing right now is that they are trying to pull Russia towards the east. And that's not natural for Russians. Starting with when Arda was finished, the Russia's been leaning towards Europe. But they're ending it now. We have a new sponsor, Kathy. Namaste. Welcome to Inside Russia. Thank you. Blackhead, good to see you, friend. Howdy, howdy. Faith R has a birthday today as well. Thanks. Thank you so much. Looks like we have 2 birthday songs today. That has not happened for quite some time. So let me just find the message. Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Faith. Happy birthday to you. Wishing you good health. That's all we need. It turns out at the COVID time, we all learned that the health is really the most valuable thing that you have. We all have. So I wish you good health so you don't have to worry about it. Don't even have to, Anyway, good health. Be surrounded with people who you love and who love you. And have many reasons to have great smile on your face. And I wish everyone many coins in your pockets. Happy birthday. Thank you for being part of Inside Russia. Maria, Sky, Tucker, Aaron and Harry, howdy, howdy. Terry, good to see you. There was a question. Ho. Russian banks borrow as much money now as they never did before because of the high interest rate, 20% in loan interest. Russian people are getting poorer. I keep telling about that. And there are some people who challenge, me saying, oh, that's not true. Russian economy is doing better. Russian people are not suffering. It's really hard to disagree with you. That is happening. Kevin Baker, enjoy your videos on NewsK. Thank you so much for being such a great part of Inside Russia. I enjoy you being here and your messages, emails. Thank you. That was an interesting question. Thai Pattaya, right? Konstantin, I have a counter argument to you. When you said in the beginning of the stream that Russia is too big to fail, wasn't that the case for the USSR and people? The same. What I meant saying too big to fail is that let's say Russia is acting like a mad dog, like it's acting right now, okay? What you cannot do is take Russia and erase it from the map of the world, like if it doesn't exist. You cannot do that. Too many resources, too many people, too much history, like you could do that, everyone could do that with North Korea. North Korea is isolated and it's like white spot on maps, on the world's map. But that white spot is hardly noticed by anyone. We know that North Korea is there, but we don't know anything about it. We just know what it is, but where it is, but that's it. You cannot do that with Russia. Too big to do that. That's what I meant, too big to fail. Too big to... And the USSR was the same thing. It was isolated. It was the evil empire, but you could not ignore it, okay? Same thing, you cannot ignore the existence of Russia. You somehow have to coexist with it. That's what I meant. Ermin, having Pershing 2 rockets stationed in my Germany town, I was very happy that we were no longer a target for Russia. I remember that time. I was so full of happiness, so full of optimism. It felt like change was in the air and everything's going to be so much better from now on. That's how we were feeling. So just looking back from 2024 is very ironic. How could we take, us Russians, how could we take this wonderful thing and fudge it up so bad, Okay. Ron, if someone displaced by the war can get to me in the Mojave Desert, then I have a spare bedroom they can use. You know what? Thank you, Ron. Thank you so much. I drove through Mojave Desert a few times, and it's a fascinating place. And of course, I was on the highway going from Vegas to LA and back and forth. But as a magical place, I love another place like that. Kind of reminds me is the Sinai, the southern Sinai Peninsula. I love traveling there, and kind of the same feeling. I don't know, this special place. Hard to explain. This is different from other places, Anyway, I enjoyed being there. I enjoyed driving through it. I stopped, got out of the car a few times, and I like where you are at, where you live very much. It's a great place. You're lucky. So, Faith, I think that not only us singing and celebrating here, but entire Spain is celebrating. Huh? Do I hear songs and everything, in Spain? Palvia Flex, why would those profiteers even think they would be safe outside of Russia? Because they are. Mikhail Friedman was living in London for a long time, and he just returned to Russia in December, I think. So for almost 2 years, he lived in London, and he was safe. Pyotr Avin, I think, resident on one of the Baltic states, I think it's Latvia. Latvia is trying to kick him out. He's suing Latvia, and he's safe. Roman Abramovich is one of the best Putin's friends, supporters, and assistants, He's traveling all over the world. He's safe. Others, you look at the others oligarchs, not just oligarchs, but Siloviki, those who are using this system, they have businesses outside Russia. They have properties still. Some were confiscated, but still some are still there. And, in Dubai, you go and see what's going on in Dubai. Oh, boy. Tons of Russian money. Some of you, I know, I received messages, Some of you went to Dubai recently, saw so many Russian explosion happening in Dubai. And it's not us, not folks who ran away from the war, because we mostly don't have money. We have very little. We have enough just to live on. But those who profiteer the war, who profiteer killing of Ukrainians, they make money inside Russia, and then they transfer to Dubai, and then, they're welcome all over the world. That's how the modern world works right now. Camila, I live in Sweden, and I know that Russia didn't change much. Thank you so much for your opinion. Looks like Crusader Damien, another question. Do you believe Russia can survive this intact? Will the breakup happen east of the Urals? Siberia and a few others would break away and become independent? In my live stream, I tried to show you this, to share this with you. I think that there are two paths for Russia to take. One is the light, and another one is the darkness. And it looks like Russia is going towards the darkness. And the farther it goes, it'll be more difficult for it to change. But inside that path, there are different paths. And then one is Russia stays the same. And one is just the czar changes, okay? And another path is the breakup of Russia, and not just the east of the Urals. If a breakup happens, it'll break up in many places because, hey, the precedent. What everyone is waiting for is the precedent, okay? Could be the east of Urals, could be Far East, could be Primoria, could be, Siberia, could be even the south of Russia. But if a precedent happens, then, oh boy, you watch out. That's what I meant when I said, even if Siloviki, the vertical of power, breaks up, it'll break up into pieces. It will not disintegrate. But the pieces will still remain and will act independently. That's what I meant. Whether it's going to happen or not, honestly, I don't know. I would be making speculations, saying that I think my opinion is that Russia is heading towards a civil war, but I don't know what kind. It's really hard to say. It's impossible. It can take many, many forms. But there will be blood. Hey, if you have money and you start assembling your private army, you start spending lots of money, you start spending much on arming it, and you see that other private armies march into Moscow, and this close to seizing power in Russia, I mean, why would you assemble a private army if you're not going to use it, right? That's costing you so much money. And one of my further streams will be about the current update on the private armies, because the last stream I did was in May of 2023, a little bit before Wagner mutiny. So actually, I predicted the Wagner mutiny back then. So, Damien, thank you so much. Louise, Eva, Jordan, welcome to Inside Russia. Thank you for becoming a sponsor. Terry, Russia is so big, K, hard to get organized. Well, no, I totally disagree with that. The USSR was well organized and well run. It was, well, I shouldn't say well, it was effectively organized, effectively run. It was not well run in terms of the results were pitiful, but it was well organized. Look at other large countries. The USA is well organized. I don't know who else. Iran is very well organized. North Korea is very well organized. Venezuela is well organized. You know, Cuba is well organized. So there are countries that are well organized. I tell you what, Terry, give me Russia and I'll organize it for you. Nobody knows. The remnants of communism show us the kind of monsters that arise when everyone must be happy and equal. System goes haywire, producing figures such as Putin, Xi Jinping, and Kim Chen-in. Jong-un. We have totally different pronunciation. I know we discussed it with Lorna and Mommy so much. In Russia, we say Kim Chen-in, and you say Jong-un, something like that. So anyway. Nobody knows. I agree with you. Very good observation, except for one little disagreement. This system, everyone must be happy and equal system, it's not that. No, it's not everyone must be happy and equal. No one really Russia says that everyone must be happy and equal. They're like, we don't care. You will be unhappy, and there's just certainly no equality for you. It's just you're Russians, and we're surrounded by the enemies, and we must preserve our sovereignty. And that's why you'll do everything we say. You will suffer, you will starve, but you know what? We will win. Well, we will not let them ruin our sovereignty. So they're not talking about everyone. The USSR, yes, everyone must be happy and equal, but not Russia. How can you be equal if there are oligarchs? In the USSR, there weren't any oligarchs. It was just party members and everyone else. And everyone else was equal. Right now, there are oligarchs, there are businessmen, and there are people there, poor people, the rest. And where is the equality there? Craig Hughes, Friedman won his appeal but still remains under EU sanctions. But he won his appeal. He won his appeal, period, okay? And he is still under the EU sanctions, but he won the appeal. He made a huge step, okay? The EU court said, yeah, it's unfair that you're under sanctions. Mouse the German, howdy, good to see you again. Tea donation, not much, but comes from the heart. Well, look, every single dollar or euro counts. That's for donations. Big or small, doesn't matter. But your words, your attention, and your intention is absolutely priceless. So it really makes me... I always say that it makes me grow wings above, behind my back, and it's just like, I fly off the ground a little bit. So thank you so much. Joe's Rames, did you see Argentina wants to join NATO? Is it not a joke, is it? I have not seen it, but... I tell you, I'm watching Argentina closely now because this guy is definitely non-establishment and non-system. And it would not surprise me, but There's going to be another backstabbing Russia. Because before this guy became the president of Argentina, Argentina was going to join BRICS. Now he wants to join NATO. James Gum, if there's no breakup, do you think the recent concentration of power will be reversed? For example, Tatarstan getting back a president and regional parliaments getting back power. Well, Tatarstan is not a good example because Tatarstan has always been semi-independent. It's like a country inside Russia. They even had their own president until recently, when the Kremlin has forced them to, abandon this name, the president of Tatarstan, because they were saying for years there cannot be two presidents, and everyone complied except for Tatarstan, and Tatarstan just did it recently. Instead of the head of Tatarstan being called the governor, now he's called Rais. That is something like the father or something like that in Tatar language, something really touchy and personal. So anyway, there's no breakup. If there's no breakup, the concentration will not be reversed. It will remain in the Kremlin, in one center. That's the whole idea. You see, there's no middle ground. It's either black or white. It's either power concentrated inside the Kremlin, and everyone is told what to do, or it's power in the hands of the governors, of the local heads of the provinces. It's either way, okay? And this is definitely a struggle. And the Kremlin has made lots of checks and balances, so this governors will not be able to take power into their hand, concentrate power. For example, they're not elected anymore, but there are, they were given the jobs, and then Putin made the return of the election system, but they elected probably in the same way as Vladimir Putin was elected the president, if you don't understand what you mean. The big difference now is that, for example, Rostov governor has a few thousand armed men that joined a local private army, Rostov something, Cossacks or whatever, and they answer to the governor. And the governor without a private army is very different from a government with a private army, okay? When you don't have a gun, that's one thing. But when you have a gun, you look at others telling you what to do, trying to force you what to do, a little differently, you know. Caesars from Czech Republic, howdy, howdy. Thank you for coming. I believe that every little taste of freedom and democracy stays stored somewhere for the future. Look at the Baltics. They came back from oblivion in the 20th century. Friend, I understand what you're saying. I think in Russia it's reversed. You're right. Every taste counts. Every little piece counts. But in Russia, it's like somehow they stored somewhere in the back of their heads that Soviet time. And they took it to the future. This is the I don't know what to tell you. It's the most weirdest, craziest situation happening. Here in Tashkent, it's hard for us to believe, because here, I dare to say, we're still normal, we're still sane, we're still Russian, normal Russian, you know. And we sit here and we're in awe. What is going on in front of us is like a sci-fi movie or a horror movie, or like a mix. And We look at these people and we don't understand how they want to go back to the USSR and are happy about it. You gotta be absolutely insane. The Baltics, they were always the troublemakers inside the USSR. They always had minds of their own. They always were freedom-loving. They always did not accept the USSR. Okay, Baltics are very, very unique states, and I cheer to them. Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. You guys are absolutely awesome. They blew up the USSR from the inside. They say, why Russia is not, changing to the better now? Well, because Russia does not have Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, plain and simple, So, very complicated, very complicated. I cannot answer in the one question, But I agree with you in general. Russia is so freakish, uniquely, darkly unique, Going back to that highlighted message, Friedman just won his appeal, not the sanctions lifted from him. He made the precedent. He showed, hey, oligarchs, the bad guys, rise up and fight back, and there's a chance that you will win. Didzis, thank you for the kind words. I had many Russian friends there. Look, thank you, not thank me. Thank you guys. I think you're absolutely awesome. I visited Lithuania in 1988, and let me tell you something. In the USSR, I was born and grew up in Rostov-on-Don. And basically until 1988, I had traveled outside Rostov only to one place. That was Crimea, because my father was born and raised in Crimea. It's like his family still lived and still lives in Crimea. And we used to travel there, not too often, but perhaps every other year or so for vacation, summer vacation. And all of a sudden, I'm 12 years old, and I go to Moscow. I hop on with my mom, and then we just take train to Moscow. Then we take train to Klaipeda. We came there, and I said Klaipeda in Russian. They're like, no, it's Klaipeda. So, my emotions were, I was inside the USSR, but I was definitely in a different country, because people were different. They behaved differently. Their history and culture was different, so different from us. I liked it because it was so new. It was like my first eye-opening experience outside Russia. It was absolutely insane. Back then, it blew my mind how something like this could exist inside Russia that I know. So, thank you so much. Pattaya, do you think China could make an ultimatum to Putin and his follower if Russia gets weak enough? Say Manchuria belongs historically to China, using the same logic as Russia did. In one of my previous streams, watch from last Friday, Crazy Friday news update, I actually talked about it quite a bit. I showed that Russia officially, local Russian government, provincial government of Primorsky Krai, the far east of Russia, former Manchuria, they are officially now China-friendly. Businesses, I'm not sure how they're going to enforce, but I think businesses must. There's a certain degree of for enforcement from the government, must employ people who speak Chinese to cater to Chinese guests. The signs must be doubled in Chinese now, and other not so wonderful things for Russia. And this is and then another governor of Irkutsk, Blagoveshchensk, is the city that borders right on the border with China. So that mayor made a message in Chinese, congratulating the Chinese with a Chinese New Year. Russian governor sending a message to the Chinese government, to Chinese people, saying, "Dear Chinese friends, Happy New Year," and all of that. Russia is Chinificating, or Chinaing, whatever. So, and China, I think, is using soft power, and it's not going to make an ultimatum to Putin, but I think that's gonna take Manchuria without any ultimatums. If Russia has taken the territory of Ukraine and saying, "Hey, that's historical land of Russia, right? It's Russian. It's we need to take it back." What prevents China from taking Manchuria, saying, "Hey, that's Manchuria. It was Russian for 150 years. Now it's time to come back home." So I do think that I don't think there will be an ultimatum, but I think that Russia is fudged, and China is gonna take over a great deal of Russia. Ron Nollard, thank you so much. Yuri Chen, I don't know. Putin and the top have a solid grip by using force and repression. You know what the problem? I think the problem is that once Putin is gone and repression is loosened, Russian people have been changed on the inside, and they're not going to change on the outside. There's a good experiment. A bunch of mice are in a cage, and the cage itself, the metal cage, has a little bit of electricity, and every time a mouse touches a metal, it gets shocked just a little bit. And then it goes on like that for days and days, and all of a sudden, the cage is lifted up, and the mice can, leave the cage, but they're so used to not leaving the cage because of the electricity currents, shocks, that they just stay inside the cage when they're free in reality. Okay, so I think this is pretty much same kind of change has been happening inside Russian people, and it's gonna get even worse. It's gonna get even worse. Perhaps that's why Russia had no chance, because 40 years or so many years, generations have not passed, and perhaps another 20 or 30 years, and then this old Soviet generation would be gone. And, children that were born not in the USSR and Russia would not let it happen. They would have different mentality. But now we will not know. Kevin Sisler, all countries are dependent on each other. Wish people could understand this and find a way to get along. Yes, but some countries are not so dependent on others. For example, how are you dependent on North Korea or on Cuba? Crusader Damien, sponsor for 14 months. Well, the privilege is mine. Thank you, friend. You come up with the best questions. I've received most food for thought from you. Thank you so much. And Mr. Kaliskin, sponsor for 15 months, saying howdy from Chicago. Sending my love to you, to the Windy City, and you and your family. Sam, where does Putin park his Zeppelin? Well, he's got a train now. He's afraid to fly. Now he travels by train. That the rumors have it, of course. Dawn, the rapid expansion of Arabic Empire control eastward into Central and South Asia is in 700 SE was probably similar to current day push by People Republic of China government to expand soft control empire. Well, the Arabic Empire has achieved much more than the Chinese have achieved. Because look, what you're seeing, the Islamic world right now is the result of that Arabic Empire expansion. Okay, Chinese expansion is not long lasting. I think that's gonna be. It's gonna. China sooner or later is gonna go down because that's not by people for people. It's not we are the people country, and it cannot last forever. People, we are the people country, can last for generations and for centuries. The United States of America has shown that. It's a prime example. Europe has showed us that, but not China. China is gonna change its form of existing one way or another. Keith, there's a reason the Chinese live long and work late in life and so on. There is a reason. I saw an interesting scene one time. I went to Dubai once with my son Michael. We went to an aqua park and we saw a bunch of Chinese tourists and older ones too. And there was like a grandpa in his 80s, late 80s. But boy, he was perfectly fit. He was muscular and he was running around enjoying the water slides. And that's not what Russians are. When they're 80s, they're just living away, you know. But this Chinese fella, and there's so many older Chinese that are so energetic. They're like, they don't age. That's perhaps how and what they eat. What is having an economy on war footing like inside Russia? Ron, we'll talk about it later. I can't answer it now in one sentence, a few sentences. That deserves a stream. I'm gonna make a stream about the update on the economy. Interesting things happening. Just to give you heads up, Russian ruble was trading today almost 94 rubles for one US dollar, or 95. I'll give you the exact data right now. Hang on. But since presidential election a couple of weeks ago, well, no, more than that, a month ago, it's devalued. Russian ruble devalued about 5%. 94.09, and it was trading at 90 right before the election. And I was saying, hey, look, they're sugarcoating everything, and the first thing is going to go is Russian ruble will start devaluing. This is it. Another thing that is happening right now, everyone is raising prices. Sugarcoating is friggin' off. How many times I've told that about? May 1st. Most retailers, most producers have notified that they are forced to raise prices. It's going to be an interesting time. It's going to be a cool summer in Russia. Anyway, we'll make a stream on war economy, and I will make a stream on update on the economy with data. One thing can help Russian economy right now, seriously help, is if oil prices will skyrocket. That will give Russia extra cash to stay afloat. If that doesn't happen, then kaput. Gabing with Gary, good to see you. Maya, well, I think you're from Klaipeda, right? It's good to see you. I don't know what Sveiki means, but I know Klaipeda. John Birch, thank you. Good statement. Andreas, I asked a couple months ago, under what circumstances would Russia and Russians accept new Marshall Plan? What would make the world prepared to give them one? I don't know how to answer that. You tell me. What would make you prepared to give Russia a Marshall Plan? You as a voter, you as a taxpayer, would you be prepared to give Russia a Marshall Plan? I think that that's the only thing that is going to save Russia to put it onto the path of light. The circumstances, I don't know. Russia must fall so low and be absolutely destroyed, just like Germany was in 45. Then all Russians would have no choice, I guess. Something like that. Because other than that, I don't see how a Marshall Plan for Russia could be initiated and given to Russia, you know. Jimmy, my brother nearly had a heart attack when he got charged 12 pounds for a small beer in Dubai. Prices are ridiculous, but it's for rich people. They are ridiculous, yes. But you can, if you buy a beer at the store, you don't go to a restaurant, you still can, it's not that expensive. And do Russians talk about climate changes? Plain and simple answer, no. Lorna, Dirk, you understand what you just said? I never ignore Lorna. Never. It's, I'd better not to. Quid. That's how you call the pound. Quid. 12 quid. Interesting. Long COVID. Remy, please get better. Let me write down your name. Okay, folks, thank you so much. I'm gonna be wrapping up, and I would like to invite everyone to pray along with me. As usual, we finish the stream with a prayer. Praying, please come and pray with me. Come back tomorrow for Friday news update. So many crazy news. Oh my. Anyway, let's do it. Thank you so much. Dear Lord Jesus Christ, thank you for giving us our lives. Thank you for giving us this day. Thank you for everything. Thank you for food that you've placed on our tables and roofs you've given above our heads. Thank you for people who love us and who we love, that you've surrounded us with. Please give us wisdom to keep the skies above our children's heads peaceful and safe. Please give us wisdom to raise our children the way that when they become adults, they will never fight in any wars with each other, love each other, and make this world a better place. For now, please make our children healthy, keep them healthy and safe, because they are our life and our world. Dear Lord, please help Stop the bloodshed in Ukraine. We keep on praying for it every single day. We keep on asking you. The country has had enough. The people has had so bad, They need a break. They need happy life to come back. They need peaceful life. Please help every single Ukrainian who has been affected and hurt. Please answer their prayers and make their wishes come true. Reach out people who are responsible and capable for this, making this decision to stop the bloodshed, and touch their hearts, fill them with love, emotions, empathy, sympathy. Make them remember that they're human beings. So they make the decision to stop the bloodshed. And please help my country, Russia, assemble your army of the strongest angels with sharpest swords, led by Saint Michael in shining armor, and send them to this earth as avalanche to get rid of the demons who have hijacked Russia, who we know by their faces and by their names. Send angels to help good Russians run Russia and make it peaceful, loving, and respecting. Please send safe travels to everyone who is traveling. Send safety to everyone who is in danger of any kind, in dire straits. Please help single mothers who are struggling raising their children, trying to make ends meet. Please bless those who are helping Ukraine and help those Ukrainians who are in danger of from Russian missiles right now. Please help everyone who is seeking for asylum, running away from evil. Thank you so much for everything you have done for us so far. Please help those who are not well, who are sick, addicted, hungry, homeless, jobless, betrayed, lonely, who are crying for any reason, who are not feeling well, who are depressed. Please help everyone in need. Fill their hearts with love and have them feel you. Have them feel that you love them, that you care, that you're with them, that you watch every step they take, that you have never left them, and you will stay with them forever. Please have them feel it. When they do, their lives would become so much happier and so much better. Help everyone in need, please. Dear Lord, thank you for allowing us to come here and pray every single day. Thank you for this community. Thank you for everyone. Please help everyone here. Answer the prayers and make their wishes come true. And thank you for all praying right now along with me or just simply watching us pray. Dear Lord, I would like to ask you for a few people who need your help. They are Koshkin Dom, Mommy K and her mother, Remy, Warp. Please have Warp's mom rest in peace, who passed away, and send Warp strength. Lisa Kumrian, please help with the recovery. Have Karena's mom rest in peace. Help Tom W. recover from hip replacement surgery. Please help Terry Carter and Ron Klotzer. Send him safe travels and watch over him, please. Marie Doran, Warren Spees, Tracy, James Marston, Frank Caprio, Gabing with Gary, Jim in Houston, Paula W. Please needs help with blood clot. Frank in Texas, help recover and help recover completely and have a good health. Tim Mayers needs help with lung cancer. Jason Carney, please send complete recovery. Sandra Dunn, Susie Mailer, Boss Salmon, Leslie Fleming's daughter, Taylor and Leslie Fleming, Wayne, Dave, Dawn, Scan family members, Kyle E's wife, Rhonda McGillis. Thank you for helping Terry Carter's former in-laws who are getting better. Morgan L. needs further recovery. Ann Larson and her daughter Hannah. Dory, Electron family, Boogie Burger, and 2 sons, Kurt from Colorado. Lise Dumbrell, Darla, George Ruberty, White Lightning, Linda Trombley, Julie Haney, Natasha, Yelena, Michael, Jake, Oля, Dasha, Sky, Svetlana, Randolph, Grace, Karen, AMS paramedic Liz, David Porter, his family, and everyone who is in Chernovtsi, Alvin, Joe and Lee McMahon, Meta Spencer, Pamela J, Stefan from Sweden, live, Michael Yukon, and Highwayman. Please help Harry and his family. Send recovery to whoever is not feeling well, and send them strength to deal with to get through hard times. Thank you so very much, dear Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Thank you so much, friends, for coming. Thank you for giving me a chance another day, another live stream. I hope you liked my message, found it interesting, valuable, educational perhaps. Please come back for tomorrow's crazy news update, and oh boy, tomorrow's update will be crazy news. Thank you again. Before I sign off, I'd like to remind you that you're absolutely awesome on your rock. Mods, you are double awesome. And before I sign off, I would like to ask everyone to say out loud, as loud as you can, the following: Carthago delenda est.